Good evening, everybody. I hope everybody can hear my voice and see the presentation on the screen. Excellent. So today we are going to take one of my favorite kind of examples, topics, and that is data interpretation, sometimes also known as graphs, right? I believe some of you are giving the SATs this weekend, and one of these subjects topics mentioned was graphs. And when I searched for what exactly they meant by graphs, it is nothing but the data interpretation of the exams. So very easy topic, actually belongs to mathematics, but I like doing this one because full of fun calculations. And Chandan sir requested me to take up this topic for everybody. So some of you might already have attended a few data interpretation examples before. For some of us, this might be the first time. So today we are going to understand what exactly is meant by graphs or data interpretation. What are the different types of graphs which are used in such examples, and then how do we go about solving examples. So we take a look at a lot of examples and also a lot of shortcuts in solving these, right? So data interpretation is all about data, right? So data is nothing but information which is collected, right? Whenever we talk about any analysis, whenever we talk about making any decision, we need information to take that decision. Supposing you are organizing a function and you want to give the order of food to a caterer, then you need information. You need to know how many people are expected to be there in the function. You need information about what type of food they prefer. You need information about how much food per person would eat, right? All that is data. And when you collect that data, you can do analysis on that. So, data interpretation is nothing but the art or the science of presenting the information in an easy manner. Data can be in the form of numbers, it can be in the form of words or sentences. But just writing down things in the form of numbers or just writing down information as words may not be easy to understand, may not be easy to analyze. So, putting the data in a format where people can easily understand what it is actually data interpretation. And you must have seen data interpretation being done in and out a lot. Whether you're watching a cricket match or whether you're watching the results of an election, right? Whenever they put up charts, whenever they put up tables, all those things are nothing but different forms of visual data interpretation. And data interpretation is a very important managerial skill, but not necessarily only business management. It is there in practically every field, right? So, data interpretation has become a very, very important type of question which has made its appearance in most of the entrance exams. It first used to be limited to only one or two management exams, but since the past 3 or 4 years, we have seen data interpretation questions being asked in practically every type of exam. They have not limited it. They have started asking data interpretation questions in law, in hotel management, in economics, you name it, and practically every field has data interpretation questions in it. So let us start understanding how different types of graphs can be used to present data. Why certain graphs are used for presenting data, what is their purpose, so on and so forth. So let us say that I have the marks of three students, Amar, Akbar, and Anthony, right? And supposing I have the marks of four different subjects, the marks obtained by them in physics, chemistry, maths, and biology. I have literally put all the numbers pertaining to the four subjects of each student in a table, and this is tabular data representation. So, this is the most precise form of giving data. In this form of giving data, you can know exactly how many marks a student has scored in a particular examination. And reading this data is very easy, right? For example, if I ask how many marks were scored by Amar in physics, so for Amar and physics, this is the matching cell. So I can easily say that Amar scored 95 in physics. Or if I ask how much did Akbar score in chemistry, so Akbar scored 87 in chemistry. What was Anthony's score in biology? Anthony's score in biology was 88. I can also ask you other types of information from this. For example, I can ask you who scored the highest in physics? Out of all these students, who scored the highest in physics? So looking at the data for physics, in this column, 100 is the highest number. So we know that Anthony scored the highest in physics. In which subject did Akbar get the highest marks? In which subject did Akbar get the highest marks? So among all the scores, we look at Akbar's row. The highest marks he has got in maths. Now supposing I ask, what is the average score of all the students in biology? What is the average score obtained by all the students in biology? So what do? I add all the marks of the students of biology, 93 plus 95 plus 88. So 3 plus 5, 8, 8 plus 8, 16, 6, 1 carry, 1 plus 9, 10, 10 plus 9, 19, 19 plus 8, 27. And now I divide 276 by 3. So 3 9s are, 3 2s are. So I know that the average score in biology is 92. Right? So from this simple table, I can very easily ask different types of questions. Right? So what are the key concepts which I can do with these numbers? So I can ask you to find out averages. I can ask you to find out percentages. I can ask what is the ratio between two numbers, right? So averages, percentages, ratio, these are the concepts which can be asked from the information in this table. Now, this table is very clear. This table is very precise with the information. However, supposing instead of just 3 students, I had 300 students. And for 300 students, if the data was given, then the table will be so huge that getting any meaningful information from that table quickly will be very difficult. So if I need precise numbers, and I have limited amount of data, then I can present it in the form of tables. But what if I don't want precise numbers? I have some other use. Then we can use other types of charts. Like for example, a bar chart, right? Now here you may not be able to find the exact value, right? For example, if I ask you, for Gujarat, jawar production is for Gujarat, wheat production is how much? Now, how much is this value? Is it exactly between 20 and 30? Is it exactly 25? Or is it 24.9? Or is it 25.2? Right? These minor differences I may not be able to make out by just looking at the graph. But supposing this kind of information, this kind of precise information is not wanted. I only want to do some comparative analysis. Then for that, this type of table is enough. Like, what does this table say? It shows me the production of wheat, rice and jowar in 4 different states. Supposing I ask, which production is the highest in Gujarat? Right? Even without looking at the numbers, all I have to do is find out which is the tallest. Right? Maximum height is for the bar of jowar. So I can easily say jowar is the maximum production in Gujarat. In Gujarat, out of all the crops, jowar is the highest. If I want to ask, rice is grown maximum in which state? Rice is grown maximum in which state? So all I have to do is identify the color of rice. Which bar is the highest? This is the highest bar. Belongs to which state? Tamil Nadu. Right? So from this, I may not get precise numerical value, but I can easily identify trends and other things. So visually, if I want to show data, then bar chart may be a good thing to use. A bar chart may be a good thing to use. Similarly, if I simply want to show the increase or decrease in certain things, like this is a line graph. What does it indicate? It shows the number of students who are appearing for CLAT and the data is in 1000. So here when it says 43, it is actually 43,000. When this says 33, this data is actually 33,000. So the upper one is for boys, the lower one is for girls, right? So in 2015, boys were 43,000, girls were 24,000. This shows me how over a period of time the trends have changed. So from 2015 to 2016, the number of students decreased. But then from 2016 onwards, in 17 also it went up, in 18 also it went up. So over a period of time, what is the change in the value of a constant? If that is the data I want to see, then a line graph makes a lot of sense. So even in cricket, overwise, when they show what is the run rate, what is the total score per over, or what is the run rate or something, they show you this graph. Okay, initially it started off high, then the value went down, then again they picked up. Or the price of petrol. So price of petrol, how it changes per day, they show you a data. So the trend of how a value is increasing or decreasing can very easily be visually represented using a line graph. So a line graph is also useful. And then finally, when you want to show the share out of total, when I want to find out how much of the total belongs to a share, a part, I use a pie chart. For example, this pie chart shows the total expenses of a person. It shows that 58% of the total expenses is for food, 23% is for rent, 10% is for travel, and 9% is for miscellaneous. And if you add all these values, the total of a pie chart is always 100%. The total circle of pie chart, and a circle is 360 degrees. So 360 degrees in a pie chart always represents 100%. So here, the percentage of each thing is shown. Then what are these numbers next to it? So this is the actual value, 8.2. So let us say all these values are also in thousands. So this person spends 8,200 on food, 3,200 on rent, 1,400 on travel, and 1,200 on miscellaneous. So if you add all these numbers, then it will give you what is the total amount in rupees that this person has as expenses. So did you understand what a pie chart represents? A pie chart, it represents how much from the total is spent on individual portions. Right? Okay. So let us say that this is the pie chart for my expenses, right? And I make another pie chart for expenses of, let us say, Chandan sir, right? So my expenses, these are the numbers. For Chandan sir, he spends 50% of his expenses is for food. 50% of Chandan sir's expenses is food. For me, 58% of my expenses is food, whereas for Chandan sir, 50% of his expenses is food. So out of the both of us, who is spending more money on food? Out of the two of us, who is spending more money on food? My pie chart, food is 58%. For Chandan sir's pie chart, food is 50%. Who is spending more money on food? I only got 3 responses till now. Okay. Harshit, Kaini, Man got it right. Manushi, Kavya, Jay, Anushka, no. So guys, pie chart ka Amanbir, the question is, I have shown you 2 pie charts. My pie chart indicates that I spend that 58% of my total expense is spent on food. In Chandan sir's pie chart, 50% of his total expenses is on food. Can you tell me who spends more money on food? Right? So here is the trick of pie chart. You cannot say who is spending more money. it is not possible to say who is spending more money. Why? Because I do not know 100% is equal to how much rupees. Supposing I spend only 100 rupees in total, that means my food expense is literally only 58 rupees. If Chandan sir's total expense is 1000 rupees, then 50% of that he's actually spending 500 rupees on food. Right? And if I invert the numbers, if my total expense, let us say, is 1000 rupees, then 58% of that is 580 rupees. And if his total expense is only 100 rupees, then 50% is 50 rupees. And I did not say that my expense is equal to Chandan sir's expense. So you do not know what is the 100% value for both the charts. So two pie charts cannot be compared numerically until you know the base value. Did you understand that? Two pie charts can never be compared using numbers unless you know the base value. If you can identify 100% is how much, then you can compare two pie charts. But if only percentage values are given, you cannot make that comparison. Right? So that is a pie chart. Correct? Okay. So these are some of the basic charts which normally come in exams. Now, they can give you some weird charts also. Spider chart and web chart and phalana and dhimkana. All you have to understand is don't get fooled by the shape. Just analyze what exactly does it show. What is the relation between the x-axis and the y-axis? And once you're able to do that, it does not matter what is the shape of the chart, you can easily understand it, right? Just don't get frightened by looking at the shape of a chart. Are there any such charts, Namra? Yes. For example, let us say there is something called a spider chart, right? So this is the chart. The x-axis, it shows the population and the y-axis shows the year. So here for A, I can draw some values like this. Let us say this is 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. This is also 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. And here it is 1, 2, 3. And here also it is, let us say 1, 2, 3. The first, this is for company A, this is for company B, this is for company C, this is for company D, right? And they will give you some weird things. Let us say they will give you a point here, then they will give you another point here, right? For B, they will give a point here and here, then they will give a point here and here, something like this. It looks weird, but technically speaking, there is no, it's just 4 different charts which they have put together and given it a fancy name. Right, Namra? Normally they don't ask such weird charts in exams, but if they ask, it is exactly like a normal chart. There's nothing weird about it. Yes, it's exactly a normal chart, only they have put it around in a jumbled manner to confuse us. No problems at all. Did we get it? Right? So such weird charts are very, 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 very easy and very rare. They never ask it. They will stick to regular bar charts, table charts, graphs, and so on. Shubhankar, explain once what again? Spider chart. It's not a regular chart. वो तो सिर्फ मैं बनाने के लिए एक random data बता रहा हूँ. How do I understand this data? For A, population was 10 in the first year. In the first year, population is 25. X and Y axis पे ये इसको जोड़ के देखो and interpret it. That's all. There's nothing to it. Don't worry about it. Right? Chalo. So let's take a look at the first information. Let us say that this is a simple bar chart which is given. This is the company, a cosmetic company provides 5 different products. The sales of these 5 products in lakh number of packs during 95 and 2000 are given. So all data is for 2 years. The first data is 1995. The second data is for 2000. The 5 products: lipstick, nail enamel, talcum powder, shampoo, and conditioners. So lipsticks In the year 95, 20.15 lakh were produced. Lipstick in the year 2000, 48.17 lakhs were produced, right? So all these are the sales, not produced, these are the sales figures. Sorry, these are not the production, these are the sales figures. So how many products were sold in 2 particular years? This chart gives you that. Nothing great to understand, right? Now, let's take a look at the questions which can be asked. So I've given you the graph also. The sales of lipstick in 2000 was by what percent more than the sales of nail enamel in 2000? And you can round off the figure. So, lipstick in 2000 was how much more than nail enamel? So, how do we do that? We have to find out lipstick in 2000 was how much more than nail enamel in 2000. So, lipstick in 2000 was 48.17. Nail enamel in 2000 was 37.76. So you have to identify what is the percentage value that we are looking for. What is the percentage value that we are looking for? So 48.17 minus 37.76, difference कितना हुआ? So difference is 10.41. So all I have to identify is 10.41 is what percentage of 37.76, right? So first I identified the difference and then I have to find out what percentage it is. So 10.41 is what percentage of 37.76. Now guys, मेहनत करनी है, कैलकुलेशन करना है तो कर सकते हो, लेकिन एग्जाम में मुझे कैलकुलेशन करना अच्छा नहीं लगता है, राइट? आई वॉन्ट टू डू माई गेस वर्क फ्रॉम द ऑप्शंस. आई वॉन्ट टू गेस द आंसर. सो हाउ विल आई गेस इट? 37.76, राइट? उसका कैन आई से 36 के साथ अगर मैं कंपेयर करके देखूं तो 37.76 का 10% will be roughly 3.7. 10% of this will be roughly 3.7, and 3.7 multiplied by 3 is how much? 3 sevens are 21, 3 3s are 9, 11.1. So 30% itself is 11 point something. तो 30% से ज्यादा तो नहीं हो सकता आंसर, क्योंकि 11.1 is 30%, 10.41 उससे थोड़ा कम होगा. That means 28% is my answer. I will not do the exact calculation. I will guess my answer using approximations. So let us see once again how I approximated this answer, right? Let us see once again how I approximated this answer. इतना मुझे पता है कि 48.17 and 37.76. What is the difference between them? The difference is 10.41. यहां तक समझ में आया? The difference is 10.41. Now 10.41 is what percentage of 37.76? That means if 37.76 is taken as 100%, then 10.41 is how much percent? That is what I need to find out. Are we together so far? Amanbir? Right? Now, if 37.76 is 100, can I say 3.776, approximate 3.7 is 10%? Yes? So, if 10% is 3.7, then 30% is 3 times 3.7, which is 11.1 something. Did you get that? Okay. So, if 30% is 11.1, तो 10.41 तो उससे कम होना चाहिए ना? So, my answer is less than 30. And 22 is very less. So, closest answer 28. Mark it, move ahead. Now did you understand? Shubhankar, what did you write? If ISRL the question, what have you written? I don't even understand what you have written. Did the others understand the approximation technique which I used? मेहनत नहीं करने की. Okay. Next question from the same set. During the period 95-2000, the minimum rate of increase is in the sales of which product? Minimum rate of increase is in which product? This is simple. Right? So let us take a look at it. शैम्पू के लिए 7.88 से लेके 12 पॉइंट समथिंग दे गया, लेस देन 2 टाइम्स. नेल एनामल went from 5.9 to 37, definitely more than 2 times, in fact almost 6-7 times. Talcum powder went point 14 point something to 29 point something, which is more than 2 times. And lipstick went from 20 point something to 48 point something, which is also more than 2 times. These three products double से ज़्यादा है, ये double से कम है. So minimal increase is definitely in shampoo. Just by looking at the values, I can say that all the other products increased more than double. They became more than double. But shampoo is less than double. So obviously least increase is in shampoos. Parnika, you have to identify what is the change. How much is it increasing? Right? Why am I comparing with 2 times? Because shampoo is less than double and all the other are more than double. Do you want to calculate the exact values and waste time? No. Simplicity. Calculation में हमेशा simplicity use करो. Right? In fact, don't calculate. Approximate. Data interpretation is all about how intelligently we approximate the numbers. Right? Okay. What is the approximate ratio of the sales of nail enamel in 2000, to talcum powder in 95? So nail enamel in 2000 is 37.76. Talcum powder in 95 was 14.97. Right? अब इसको मैं सिंप्लीफाई तो कर सकता हूं, बट इस रूप में नहीं. I will approximate the numbers. So instead of 37.76, can I say this is roughly 37.5 round figure? And the bottom, can I approximate it to 15? Closest round figure, 37.5 and 15. Why did I take 37.5? Because it is 375 and 150. So 375, 25 15s are, 25 6s are, 3 5s are, 3 2s are. 5:2 is my answer. That's it. Straightforward approximation. 5:2 is my answer. 37.76 को 35 या 40 लोगे तो बहुत फर्क पड़ेगा. You are approximating it by too much. 35 या 40 लेने से बहुत ज़्यादा फर्क पड़ जाएगा. 37.5 is very close. And guys, remember, चंदन सर ने डेफिनेटली करवाया होगा आपको certain values. 12.5, 25, 37.5, 50, 62.5, 75, 87.5 and 100. Do you know these numbers? Right? This is 1 by 8, 2 by 8, 3 by 8, 4 by 8. So always remember, 37.5 is actually a very nice number because it is 3 by 8. That is why I purposely rounded it to 37.5, because 37.5 and 15, very easily they will cancel out each other. So remember, 37.5, 62.5 and 87.5, these are the approximate numbers. Amanbir, if it cannot be approximated and if it is a very weird number and you have not enough time, you should not do the problem. In exam, they will not give you problems where too much of calculation is there. They don't want mathematicians who are calculators. They want intelligent people who can guess. So they will purposely create the examples where these shortcuts are applicable. They want to check whether you are smart enough to apply the shortcut. They don't want mechanical calculators. That to anybody. See, if long calculation to anybody can do. They don't want you to do that. So they will give you examples where such shortcuts are applicable. What is that? You have to identify which shortcut is applicable. Some or the other shortcut will be there. And if there is no shortcut which comes to your mind, rather than waste time, you should move ahead and come back to it only at the end. Right? चलो शुभांकर, let's see the examples. जैसे जैसे दिखेगा वैसे वैसे करेंगे. चलो. The sales have increased by nearly 55%. See, increase in percentage का question आपने पूछा और आ गया. The sales have increased by nearly 55% from 95 to 2000 in the case of what? Again, very intelligent question. Let's see who gets this one. Correct. We have already done an example very similar to this just a couple of minutes back. See, 55%, right, is definitely less than 100%. If something increases by 100%, then it becomes double. So 55% means it is less than double. In fact, it is close to 1.5 times. Do you understand this part? 55% is 1.5 times. So जो भी number है उसका आधा add करना है. Supposing I want to increase 100 by 50%, then I will add 50 to 100, it becomes 150. If I want to increase 200 by 50%, I add 50% of 200 to it, it becomes increased by 50%. Did you understand this funda? Increasing something by 55% is almost making it 1.5 times. Right? चलो एक एक ऑप्शन देखते हैं. फर्स्ट वन लिपस्टिक. लिपस्टिक 20 का डबल से ज्यादा है. दिस इज मोर देन 100%. नॉट माई आंसर. नेल एनामल ऑलमोस्ट 6 से 36 से ज्यादा. 100% से तो बहुत ही ज्यादा है. नॉट माई आंसर. टैल्कम पाउडर 14 point something and 20. 14 point something का डबल इज 28. दिस इज मोर देन दैट. दिस इज ऑलमोस्ट 100%. नॉट माई आंसर. 8 का 12 इज 1.5 टाइम्स. 3 तो ऐसे ही एलिमिनेट हो गए. ऑब्वियसली शैम्पू इज माई आंसर. All the others are more than 100% increased. So it has to be shampoo. Did you get it? Everyone. If it was 155, that means it should be 2.5 times the original number. Which number is multiplied by 2.5 times? तो nail enamel कितना है? 37 point something by 6. This is almost 600%. That means it is increased by almost 500%, not 155. For nail enamel, the increase, Shubhankar, is more than 500%. Okay, Amanbir. The increase of sales, I want to find out in which one the increase is 55%. That means the sales is approximately 1.5 times, which is less than 2 times. I have to find out sales of which product is less than double. 55%. Technically, it is 1 point. See, increase by 55. 100 becomes 155. So the increase is 155 by 100, which is 1.55. I'm lazy to say 1.55. I'm making life simple 1.5 times. 55% increase का मतलब क्या होता है? Right? So 1.5 times. Lipstick double से ज़्यादा. Nail enamel double से ज़्यादा. Talcum powder almost double. Only shampoo is 1.5 times. So that's my answer. Do you understand that? All the other values are more than 100% increase. Only the shampoo is increasing by less than 100%. That is almost 50%, 55%. Amanbir, got that? Okay. Next one. The sales of conditioner in 95. The sales of conditioner in 95 was by what percent less than the sales of shampoo in 95? Conditioner in 95 was 5. Shampoo in 95 was 7.88. By what percentage is it less? E.g. the difference is 2.88. 2.88 over 7.88. Approximation करना है तो 3/8 कर लो. 3/8 we know is 37.5. Closest value is 36. So that is my answer. $7.88 and 5 के बीच में 2.88 का डिफरेंस है. 5 is 2.88 less than 7.88. So 2.88 is what percentage of 7.88? Approximate कर लो 3/8. 3/8 is 37.5. Closest value is 36. Mark that as your answer. जय, समझ में आया? मयूक, see if it is 57% less, that means आधे से भी कम. 50%, 50% is half. So if it is 57% less, it will be less than half. And 5 is not less than half of 7.88. So answer cannot be 57%. Understand the numbers. Numbers have a meaning. Right? Logically think about it. Don't be afraid of thinking logically about numbers. Did everybody get this? Okay. So now we move on to the next kind of example. But before that, a question. Man, can we have an overview of functional notations, graphing linear equations and polynomial factors and graphs? Huh? Graphing of linear equations. Come on. Graphing of linear equations is nothing. Let me quickly do that. In fact, easy screen. Forget the example. If a linear equation is given that x plus x is equal to y plus 3, you just take values of x and y. Y का value assume कर लो -1, 0 and 1. If y is -1, then x is 2. If y is 0, then x is 3. If y is 1, then x is 4. So on a graph, you just plot these values. You will get a line, straight line equation. That's it. Graphing is the easiest thing. You assume values of x and you will get the values of y, or you can assume the values of y and you will get the values of x. Either way it will work. And then I hope you know how to make a graph. X-axis and y-axis. That's it. That is what is graphing. Nothing more than that. नाम जितना खतरनाक है उतना easy. Okay. Now this bar graph, it shows the percentage distribution of total production of a car manufacturing company. Right? So in 2000, the total cars produced is given at the bottom, and how much percentage of the different vehicles were produced. U, T, S, R, Q, P. For 2000 and 2001. this is percentage wise data, right? This is the percentage production of 6 different types of cars manufactured by the company in the year 2000 and in the year 2001. So, first question, what was the difference in the number of Q-type cars produced in 2000 and that produced in 2001? Now, read and analyze the data carefully and then give me the answer. Don't be hasty. Amanbir, you need not worry. It is top to bottom. Top, start from the top. U, T, S, R, Q, P. It is in the same order that it is given. Top to bottom. Always remember, even if the colors are not clear, vertically it will always be like this. And if it is a pie chart, then this is always the first one and you go in clockwise order. So whatever is given in the legend, this will be the first, second, third. In clockwise order it will be given. So even if the shades are not very distinguishable, that's an easy way of identifying it. Okay. So, Q-type cars in 2000 minus Q-type cars in 2001. So, Q-type cars is second from the bottom. So, second from the bottom. How much is this? 5, 10, 15. So, this one is 15%. And this one 5, 10, 15, 20. This is 20%. That means 15% of 3,50,000 minus 20% of 4,40,000. That's it. Amanbir, how did I take what out? Percentage. Look at the graph. It starts from 0. This is 10. This is 20. This is 30. This is 40. This is 50 and so on. So for Q, this portion is 45. That is every two markings. Between every two markings is 5%. So total 3 markings, that is 15%. Right? So once you do this calculation, if you calculate it correctly, your answer is 35,500. Easy one. The only thing is you have to read the data carefully. Calculation is extremely simple in this example. Did everybody get it? Okay. Next one. The total number of cars of the model P, Q and T in the year 2000 is how much? Very, very simple. This is simple. Total P, Q and T in 2000 was how much? So 2000 में this is P, this is Q and this one is T. P is 30%, Q is 15% and T is also 15%. That means 30 plus 15 plus 15. What is totally 60% of 3,50,000. That's all I need to find out. 60% of 3,50,000, and that is roughly, not roughly, exactly 2,10,000. So option C is my answer. Shubhankar, calculation. Very, very simple one. Hope everybody got this. Right. Next one. If the percentage production of P in 2001 was the same as percentage in 2000, then how many P-type cars would have been produced in 2001? Understanding the question is the only thing. Calculation is pappu. Careful calculation, guys. For P in 2000, it was 30%. So, in 2001, if P's production was 30% of the total, then how much would it have been? So, 30% of 4,40,000 is 440 into 30. 3 4s are 12, 1 3 4s are 12, 13. So 13,000, 1,32,000 in fact. 1,32,000. B. Instead of the current number of 40%, you have to calculate what is 30% of 4,40,000. That's it. Did everybody understand it? Vanchika, didn't get this one? See, what is the question asked? If the percentage production of the car P in 2001 was same as 2000, in 2000 P was 30%, right? So in 2001 also, if P was 30% of total, then how much was it? So 30% of total of 2001. 2001 mein the total was 4,40,000. That's it. You understand that? Vanshika, because question में दिया है if the percentage production of P in 2000 was the same as that in 2000. They are asking you to take the percentage value from 2000. The question clearly says that I have to take the percentage value of 2000 and calculate for 2001. Now did you get it? See, data interpretation mein the problem is not with the calculation. That will be very easy. Understanding the question is the main thing. Right? Calculation mein to kuch bhi nahi hai. Anybody can do it. So, be very careful in understanding the question. Chalo. If 85% of S-type car produced in each year were sold by the company, then how many S-type cars remain unsold? Very good question. Superb question. easy to understand, then calculation is simple. But if understanding is tough, then we are in trouble. No, Gia. Yes, Jill. Nishka, check it. See, what is the data given? The data says that 85% produced cars is sold, right? So if 85% of produced cars is sold, then can I say that the number of unsold cars is nothing but 15% of the total number of cars? So number of S unsold is 15% of the S total. Did you understand that? Right. Now, what is the S ka sales? So in the first year also 10%. In the second year also roughly let us say 10%. So in first year 3,50,000 में से 10% is 35,000. Second year में 4,40,000 10% is 44,000. So can I say roughly 79,000 is the total number of cars? The total number of cars is 79,000. If I want to find 15% of that, so I will take 10% and I will add half of this. Half of this 79 का आधा कितना होता है? 79 का आधा is 39.5. So 395 if I add here 05811,850, I get my answer. 15% का calculation is 10 plus 5. 10% plus 5%. So 15% झटके में I can calculate and say my answer is C. Number 3950, not 05. Did you get it? Did everybody get this one? Okay. ठीक है. चलो. Did everybody get it right? Everybody got this one, right? No problem. Chalo. For which model the percentage rise or fall in production was minimum? Rise or fall in production was minimum for which one of them? This is lengthy, guys. This is lengthy. And without calculation, you will not be able to do this. You should be able to quickly calculate it. So Q, R, S and T for 2000. Let's first take a look at the percentages. Q is 15%, R is 20%, S is 10% and T is 15%. So from total 3,50,000, so this will be 35,000. Iska double 20, so this will be 70,000 and 15% is 35,000 plus half of 35,000, that is 17.5. So 35,000 into 1.5 times will give you roughly 52,500. So these values for 2000. अब 2001 के लिए what are these values? Q, R, S, T. Q is again 5, 10, 15, 20%. उसके बाद 1, 2, 3, 15%, then 10%, and again 10%. So 4,44,000 का 10% is 44,000, 44,000. This one is 80,000, 88,000. So इन दोनों के बीच में this will be 66,000. तो 50 से 80 पे चला गया, 35 से 44 में चला गया, 50 से 40s में चला गया, but 70 से 66, this is the closest. So minimum fall is with R. Minimum change is with R. Parnika, how did I get the values? See, do you understand that in 20,000 the total value is given at the bottom? Look at the bottom of the graph. 100% का value दिया हुआ है. So in 20,000 total was 3,50,000. In 2001 the total value was 4,40,000. So now do you understand from where we got these percentage values? That is by looking at the graph. No, Namra, you cannot do it by percentage because the percentages are different numbers. Look at it. See, S का भी 10, S का पहले भी 10% है, बाद में भी 10% है, but minimum change इसमें है क्या? Namra, S में तो कोई change ही नहीं है percentage value में. Does that mean that is the minimum? No. S is not the answer. Answer is not S. Answer is actually R. You cannot compare percentages because the base are different. Now did you get it? Okay. Stuti is asking me, okay. Let me do this once again. People seem to not get this one. Chalo. Pehle, we are going to write down the values of Q, R, S and T for the year 2000. अब 2000 में 100% is equal to 3,50,000 and the values of Q is equal to 15%, R is equal to 20%, S is equal to 10% and T is equal to 15%. Did you get this? All this is from the graph. So if 100% is 3,50,000, then 10% is 35,000. And if 10% is 35,000, 20 तो उसका double हो जाएगा. So 35 का double 70,000. And if 10 is 35, then 15% is 52,500. Did you understand these four values? Similarly, 2001 में 100% is equal to 4,40,000. So उसके हिसाब से Q, R, S and T के values निकाल दो using the same tricks. And then compare कर लो, मिल जाएगा. Do you get that? Did everybody understand it? Amanbir, by seeing percentage, how do you get R beta? See, S में तो 10% का 10% ही है, जबकि R is how much? R, this one is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 20% and here R is 15%. It is actually changing. So how do I, Amanbir? So 0%, this is changing by 25%, 1/4. S is changing by 0. 0 बड़ा या 25 बड़ा? They are asking for minimum change. 0 is the smaller change, right? Minimum 0 is the minimum least change because both rise and fall has to be taken. So सिर्फ percentage compare करें तो S will be your answer. So I cannot directly compare two percentages. Aman, remember, in pie chart also I clearly told you, two percentages cannot be compared if the base is not same. Right? Base, yes. Anushka, you cannot say QRT are changing by 5%. Anushka, biggest mistake if you think that QRT all are changing by 5%. Let me give you a classic example. See, 20 becomes 25. 100 becomes 95. Are both of them changing by 5%? 20 has become 25. 100 has become 95. Are they changing by 5%? No. The second example may it is 5% less. But in the first example, it is actually 25% more. Do you get that? So QRT are not changing, all of them are not changing by 5%. Guys, you need to know percentages. Percentages का खेला है. लाइफ में percentages बहुत यूज होगा. Never ever make the mistake with percentages. Get your basics right. ठीक है? Work on your basics. Percentage के concept clear होने चाहिए. चलो. Next type of graph. Pie graph. So this chart shows the amount of subscription generated for India bond from different categories of investors. Right? Offshore fund is 16%, others are 4%, national is 2% and so on. So total में से individual के क्या percentage shares हैं that is given. In the corporate sector, how many degrees should be there in the central angle? Now this you have to be careful and precise with the calculations. In a pie chart, we have seen 100% should be equal to 360 degrees. So corporate is 34%. So 34% is how much? So 34 multiplied by 360 divided by 100. This I think you can calculate precisely. It's close to 122.4 के आसपास. So closest answer I can mark is 122. Closest answer I can mark is 122. इसमें approximation का सोचेंगे उसके पहले तो long calculation से आंसर आ जाएगा. Don't even try to approximate it because the answers are very close to each other. So find the exact value. And exact 34 into 36 ही तो calculate करना है. Come on. That's easy. 0.5 होता तो 123 नहीं ले सकते वंशिका. 0.5 होता तो 122 and 123 both of them are correct. So they will never give you a value like that. हार्दी, क्वेश्चन का मतलब क्या है? सी, कॉर्पोरेट सेक्टर 34% में एंगल कितना है? सर्कल में पूरा सर्कल 100% हमेशा 360 डिग्री का एंगल होता है. सो ये एंगल कितना है? ये एंगल कितना है इज व्हाट दे आर आस्किंग. दे आर आस्किंग फॉर द मेजर ऑफ दिस एंगल. राइट? Shubhankar, come on. Guys, I don't think I have to teach you approximation के फंडे. Come on. If 122 है and 123 है, exactly is between is 122.5. ये ना यहाँ पे है ना यहाँ पे है. Any value less than this, you approximate it to 122. Any value more than this, you approximate it to 123. Come on. इतना approximation तो प्राइमरी स्कूल में आता है अपने को. Exact 122.5 होगा. You cannot approximate it without knowing whether you have to approximate up or down. But other than that, it's easy to know which side to approximate. Come on, don't tell me. Amanbir, you will not get the answer as 122.5. They'll never give you a value like that. You will never get a value like that. ठीक है? Come on, guys. Think. Before asking me a question like that, पहले think. I do appreciate you asking me questions. And I do say that any question can be asked. But come on, think. ठीक है? No, Aditya, 122.5 will not become 123 or 122 unless they say approximate up or approximate down. Without the word up or down, you cannot approximate 122.5 because it is exactly in middle of 122 and 123. So if they ask you to approximate up, then it becomes 123. If they ask you to approximate it down, it becomes 122. But without that, you cannot mark the answer because both 122 and 123 can be the approximation of 122.5. ठीक है? चलो. How much time should we spend on DI? DI as in the exam? 30-40 seconds per question. Calculation ज़्यादा हुआ 60 seconds per question, not more than that. In less than 5 minutes, you should be able to solve a set of 5 questions. Chalo. Next one. Next slide. Okay. If the investment by NRIs are 4,000 crores, then corporate and FII ko mila ke what is the investment? EG question. Very easy question. All you have to do is understand what is the meaning of this question. Calculation is pappu. See, they are saying that if NRI investment is 4,000 crores, then corporate house plus FII is equal to how much? So NRI kahan pe hai? NRI is here, right? So basically they are asking if 11% is equal to 4,000, then corporate house ka 34 and FII ka 33. 33 plus 34, 67% is equal to how much? That's it. So all you have to do is 67 into 4,000 divided by 11. And assuming that you calculated it correctly, your answer is 24,363 crores, which is option B. I think majority of you got it right. EG tha, EG. So I'll quickly move on to the next one if everybody has got this. What percentage of the total investment is coming from FII and NRI? हाँ, इससे ज़्यादा इजी क्वेश्चन मैंने लाइफ में नहीं देखा. इससे ज़्यादा मैंने इजी क्वेश्चन लाइफ में नहीं देखा. FII प्लस NRI 33 प्लस 11. गाइस, भगवान भला करे जिसने ये क्वेश्चन बनाया लाइफ में. You know, sometimes they ask you such questions to fool you. झील, काश मैंने बनाया था, तुम्हारी सारी दुआएं मुझे लगती, बट नहीं. दिस क्वेश्चन इज नॉट बाय मी. बट यू नो वाई दे सेट सच क्वेश्चंस? बिकॉज स्टूडेंट्स विल goof up even this question. It is almost impossible to believe that a question can be this simple, and students will waste time trying to identify where is the trick. And the trick is that there is no trick. It is actually that stupidly simple. But because it is like that, it is actually a very intelligent question. The intelligence of this question is in the simplicity of the question. People will get fooled into thinking there is some trick, when in reality there is no trick to this question. Yeah. Chalo. If the total investment other than, now read the question very carefully, guys. If the total investment other than FII and corporate is 335,000 crores, then NRI and offshore का कितना है? There's a huge trick in this question. If you read it carefully, you will get it. Yep. This is simple. See, FII plus corporate. FII is 33, corporate is 34. So together they are 67%. But here it is given investment other than FII and corporate. So other than FII and corporate, 33% is equal to 33500. So NRI and offshore. NRI is 11, offshore is 16. So 16 plus 11, 27% is how much? So if 33% is 33 something, 27%, closest value 27,004, blah 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 blah, whatever. Right? So option A, my closest answer. To get this, easy था. चलो, if the total investment flow from FII were to be doubled in the next year and the investment flow from the other sources remained constant at the existing level, then what is the proportion of FII in the total investment? If you understand this question, calculation is very simple. Calculation में कुछ भी नहीं है. Yes, Namra. No, man. See, don't get confused by the question. Do it step by step. See, the total investment from FII अभी कितना है? FII right now is 33% out of 100. So, if the total, can I say 33 out of 100 is roughly 1 by 3? Right? FII is 1/3 of the total roughly. If investment from FII becomes double, तो इन्वेस्टमेंट फ्रॉम FII एक की जगह 2 हो जाता है, तो टोटल में भी एक तो इंक्रीज होगा, बाकी सब उतने का उतना ही है, बट टोटल में FII का जो इंक्रीज है वो भी तो डालना है. सो नाउ FII इज हाउ मच? 50%. दैट्स इट. Did everybody get this one? I'll explain this again. See, forget the 1 by 2, 2 by 4. I'll do the actual numbers. See, currently FII is 33 and the total is 100. That is given, right? Now, if FII increases by 33, then the total will also increase by 33. So 66 by 133 is roughly 1 by 2. So FII is 50% of total. Got it? Cool. That's it. That's it, Amanveer. That's it. In data interpretation, calculations are very easy. Understanding what to calculate is the crux. Believe me, data interpretation is actually the easiest kind of questions you can get because it has simple addition, multiplication, subtraction, division. But what to do is the part. Calculation will be very simple, but what numbers to use for calculation is the trick. So with practice, and believe me, with practice, this is almost 100% guaranteed scoring section. You will guarantee to score marks in this. Only thing is, you just need to practice the basic types. Chalo. Let's move on to the next one then. Now this is a superb example. The following line graph, it gives you the ratio of the amount of imports by company to the amount of exports by company over a time period. So basically, in the year 1995, the ratio of import upon export was equal to 0.65. That is what the number means. In the year 1900 and let us say 98, import upon export is 1.25. So are you making sense of this graph? What these numbers are? These numbers are the ratio of import and export. Did everybody first understand the graph? Okay. So once you have understood the graph, let us take a look at the questions. First one, if the imports in 98 was 250 crores and the total export in 98 and 99 was 500 crores, then how much was the import in 99? If you have understood the data, it is just a matter of calculating the numbers. This is just calculation intensive, simple calculations, but you will have to do at least, I think, 3 or 4 calculations in this. Let's see who gets it quickest. Getting it, guys? Okay, many of you seem to have got it right. Very good. Right. So, imports in 98. So, in 1998, this is it. So, in 98, import upon export is equal to 1.25. So, can I say import is equal to 1.25 export, or rather export is equal to import upon 1.25, and import value is given 250 upon 1.25. So 250 upon 1.25, that is a pretty straightforward calculation, right? 250 upon 1.25 is equal to 200. So I know the exports in 98 was 200, and 98 plus 99 ke exports was 500. So export in 99 was 500 minus 200, that is 300. And import upon export in 99 is equal to 1.4. So import is 1.4 times export. That is 1.4 times 300. That is equal to 420. So my answer is 420 crores. Step by step calculations and you get the answer. It's just lengthy. It's not at all difficult. Did everybody understand this problem? Millie, which part did you not understand? Let me do it once again. I'll do the entire problem once again. Right? Let's take it step by step. See, it is given that import upon export in the year 98 is equal to 1.25. This is from the graph. So I can say exports in 98 is the value of import upon 1.25, which is 250 upon 1.25, which is equal to 200. Are we together so far? Jay, how to know whether it is import or export? Read the question. Data सबसे पहले देखो. Ratio of import to export. Question में दिया हुआ है. Data में दिया हुआ है. जय, समझ में आया? Import to export का ही ratio है. It is given specifically. चलो, मिली. So, now, what is the second part given? It is given export of 98 plus export of 99 is 500. So, export of 98 को इसमें से subtract करूंगा. I will get export of 99 is equal to 300. Did you get it so far? Millie? Okay. So, import of 99 upon export of 99 from the graph is 1.4. So the value of import of 99 is 1.4 into export of 99, which is 300. So my answer becomes 420. Found your mistake? Okay, good. Now everybody understood this, right? Chalo. The imports were the minimum proportion to export in which year? Imports were the minimum proportion to export in which year? इसमें कुछ भी नहीं करना है. This the ratio is import upon export. The ratio is import upon export. So minimum import का value तब होगा जब graph lowest होगा. The graph is literally giving you the values of import upon export, which means the lowest value will be the lowest in import value. So minimum proportion is in the year 97. That's it. No calculation. You only have to look at the graph. So nice. Absolutely no calculations. Only observation. Correct, Aditya? Chalo. What was the percentage increase in imports from 97 to 98? From 97 to 98, imports increased by how much? So, how much was the import in 97? In 97, what was the imports? How much was imported in 97? I don't know, because the only data which is given to me is the ratio of import and export, but the individual value of import is not given. So when I don't know the value of import of 97 or 98, then how do I calculate the percentage increase? I cannot. So my data is inadequate. I only know the ratio of import and export, but I don't know the actual value of import. So I cannot calculate the change in imports. Yes, Aditya. If it is mentioned that the exports remained the same, then you can directly calculate 0.35 and 1.25 because the base is the same. 0.35 is a percentage of export. 1.25 is also a percentage of export. So if the base value of export is given, then you can easily calculate it. That's correct. Here, because I don't know any base value, so I cannot compare. See, Amanbir, did you understand this question first? Why data is inadequate? Correct. Now, what Aditya was asking was this. I'll put up on the screen. What he said was, supposing it was mentioned in the question that exports of 97 is equal to export of 98. If this is mentioned, then can I give the answer? This is what he's asking. So my answer was yes. If export of both the year is same, then obviously I can compare 0.35 with 1.25 directly. Did you get that? If the export value is the same, then I can directly compare these two numbers. But because it is not given, so the data is inadequate. Yes, if the base is the same, then percentages can be compared. So supposing it was given that both the exports are same, which means base is same, then I can calculate the import ka ratios. Correct. Chalo. Next one. If the imports in 96 was 272 crores, then exports in 96 was how much? Oh, this is simple. Yes. This is a very, very simple. It's only calculation which needs to be done. There's nothing else to be done in this. Straightforward, it is calculation. Right. In how many years export was more than import? If export is more than import, that is the denominator is greater, then the value should be less than 1. The value of the ratio should be less than 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times the value is less than 1. Answer is D. Yes, Aditya. All you have to do is find out how many values are less than 1. I hope everybody understood this particular example. What if the question was imports? That is, Aman Bhai, if question was import is greater than export, then value greater than 1. If the question is, in how many years were imports greater than exports? See, I'll explain this once again. The question asked is, in how many years exports were greater than imports? Right? Export greater than import ki jagah pe, can I say import less than export? Is the same thing. So divide both of them by export. So I upon E will be less than EE cancelled 1. So jahan pe ratio is less than 1, wahan pe export is greater than import. So less than 1 kahan pe hai? 0.65, 0.85, 0.35 and 0.95. 4 बार. Manush, did you get that? Okay. Chalo. Let's take one more set. Now this is pure tabular set, tables. This table is the expenditure of a company per annum over the years, right? From 98 to 2002, they are showing you how much is spent on salaries, how much on fuel and transport, how much money in bonus, interest and taxes. All these amounts are in lakhs. That means 288 lakh rupees in 98 was on salary, 3 lakh in 98 was on bonus, and so on. Right? Simple tabular data. So, first question. What is the average amount of interest per year which the company had to pay? इसमें तो guys calculation के अलावा कुछ भी नहीं है. You don't even have to think too much in this example. All you have to do is be careful with your calculations. It's as simple as that. So, interest on loans, average amount of interest. So all I have to do is add all these numbers and then divide it by 5. That's it. Guys, careful with your calculation. Shubham, Kavya, 4 plus 5, 9. Let's do 10, 19, 23. So 3, carry forward 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 plus 6, 14, 23. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 18. 183.3 could divide by 5. 5 3s are 15, 5 6s are 30, 5 6s are 30 something. Sorry. 36.0 something I get. Yeah. So 36.06. एक सेकेंड, लेट मी डू दिस कैलकुलेशन वन अगेन. 183.3 का टोटल इज करेक्ट. इज माई टोटल ऑफ 183.3 करेक्ट? 183.3 is to be divided by 5. 183.3 is to be divided by 5. 183.3 divided by 5 is 36.66. A. Yeah, it's A. Got it? Chalo. Next one. The total amount of bonus paid by the company is what percentage of the total amount of salary? Salary का total करो, bonus का total करो and find out कितना है. Let's do this. Did we get it? Why do I need to take individual years, man? 5 बार मैं टोटल परसेंटेज क्यों निकालूंगा? सिंपल एवरेज ही है ना. टोटल बोनस डिवाइडेड बाय टोटल सैलरी का ही मुझे निकालना है. So 288 plus 342 plus 324 plus 336 plus 420, that is 1710, and this is 17, so 17 by 170, very close to 0.99 actually. So it's very close to 1. आरुषि एक बार चेक करो टोटल अपना. I checked it twice. You can also check it. 8 plus 2 10, 10 plus 10 20, 0, 2 carry forward, 2 plus 8 10, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21. This is 1710. 1710. हाँ अमन भी परसेंटेज ही निकालना है ना. So multiplied by 100 will obviously give you this much. 70 upon 1710, I'm just directly talking in terms of percentage. अब zeros के साथ ही खेलना है ना Amanbir. Yeah, I don't, in percentage calculations, I don't worry too much about the zeros. I think that much is pretty obvious. Chalo. The total expenditure of all these items in 98 was approximately what percentage of the total expense in 2002? Total expense in 98 was what percentage of total expense in 2002? Are we getting the values? Hope we are getting the values. D 69 point something something I'm getting. Closest is 69. Right? So this is just lamba calculation. Pranav, how to find 495.4 multiplied by 100 divided by A? This is what percentage of this? तो 495.4 को approximately 500 ले लो, 713 को 720 ले लो. So 500 into 100 divided by 72. I think that calculation should be easy. Everything is an expense, right? Manush. These are all the expenses of a company. So the salary which they pay to their employees is also an expense for the company, right? Manush. Salary is also an expense for the company. This is all company data. Do you get that? Yeah. Vanshika. Nah, I won't expect 60 seconds. 90 seconds, 1.5 minutes तक जाएगा इसमें. It's a guaranteed mark wala, but it will take slightly more time. 60 to 90 seconds. If you have to be very fast. 60 to 90 seconds is fair enough. Right? Yeah. Chalo. Calculate the total expenditure of the company over these items during the year 2000 from the chart. Le. 2000 का calculate करना है क्या? Expenditure. Literally they are asking, add all those values and tell me. Come on. First standard का बच्चा करेगा ये तो. ये तो literally like 30 seconds में we should get the answer. I think it's just an addition question. Unless you goofed up the addition. It's very simple. But the options are very tricky, very close to each other. So you need to be very careful with the addition. Answer is B. Manush, Shubhankar, just check your addition. एक digit इधर उधर कर दिया है. For 2000, 324 plus 101 plus 3.84 plus 41.6 plus 74. Shubhankar, check your calculation once again. It is definitely B. Chalo. The ratio between total expenditure on tax for all the years and the total expenditure on fuel and transport for all the years is how much? Yeah, 10:13. 10:13, guys. Kavya, B कैसे आया? 7:13 is almost equal to 1:2, and 450 is not half of 580, so it cannot be 7:13. 7:13. Why did we round off? Because 451 divided by 586. उसका रेशियो निकालने जाओगे बहुत मेहनत लगेगा. If you want, you can keep the numbers as it is, Amanbir. But 450 and 585 अगर ले लूँगा, then calculation is easy. Amanbir, if the options are so far off, then rounding off is not a problem. And how much did I round off? 451 का 450 किया, 586 का 585 किया. Very close. Rounding off by 1 is absolutely easy. Minimal round off किया है ना मैंने. बड़ा round off will give me error. छोटा round off is always acceptable. I have rounded off by less than 0.5%. So that's okay. ठीक है? Yeah. Chalo. Do you want to do one more set, guys? Do you want to do one more set? Because half the students seem to have exited by now. Majority are saying no. Chalo, no problems. A lot of examples are there in the data interpretation book. Right? I hope you have the data interpretation book. If not, I'll send the PDF today, right after the class. I'll send the PDF to everybody. Right? I must have already given it. You must have the PDF, but if not, I'll send it today by end of day. If you do the data interpretation book, it contains a lot of examples which are most commonly asked in the exams. So that will make life simple for you. Just practice from the data interpretation book, which I provide, and that is a good enough practice for any exam. Remember, percentage, average, and ratio, and calculations. These are the only things that you need to practice. And data interpretation may read the table carefully, read the information carefully, and you are set to get full marks. Till date, never have complicated examples come in any exam. DI has always been a scoring section in every single undergraduate entrance exam which I have seen. So don't worry about it. If you don't make silly mistakes, if you don't make calculation mistakes, you will get full marks in this section, right? So if there are any questions, then I'll hang around to answer them. Else we are done for the day. You may exit the session. Have a good day and stay safe.